Okay, check in 1, 2, 3 on the sound. Do we have sound? We do have sound. We should have sound now. Guys, do we have sound? Are we back? Everybody? Sound? Do we have sound? Okay, excellent. Okay, guys, DutyRon back again here with another video. I'm going to repeat everything that I just said. Tonight, we're going to speak about a case. It's in the title. This is a case I spoke about in September. A family of 3 wiped out by their father and her husband. It is a case out of Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Things like that do happen. The victims here are Clara Forman, her 2 daughters, Karina and Yesenia. For those of you who know and watch and follow my channel, I did cover this case in September of 2019. Tonight is the 2-year anniversary of their murders, and I'm going to be here to talk about it with a special guest. I have a family member who is standing by on a Zoom video call, and she is standing by. Her first cousin is here as a special guest, and after I go over this case with you guys, we will hear from her. She will give us her story. She'll tell her story, which is a lot different. It's a lot different than what is being reported in the media. A lot of the Canadian media has held back some of the inner workings of what went on between the husband and wife, her cousin. Now, again, guys, thank you so much for joining. If you're not following me on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Right below, right here, is the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you can get all things DutyRon. Hello, Rouse Trucking. Hello, Bells Reborn. Sophia Howard, I'm sorry I said hello to everybody in the beginning. I did a full intro, and it got completely screwed up due to technical difficulties. I have a brand new microphone that I thought I synced up with the video, but I guess I didn't. So, guys, this is a really bad crime. The family was together approximately 10 years. They were married about 10 years. And this situation here, as I reported in September, it is a gruesome crime. Completely, like for me, I see so much of Chris Watts in this crime. The dynamic of this family, the narcissistic behavior, the controlling behavior that Jacob Forman displayed. And I got confirmation from her cousin. I was just thinking it in my own mind that this has to be a control freak. And sure enough, guys and girls, it's confirmed. You know, this relationship was a complete control mind game played by the perpetrator. And the perpetrator is an evil devil in my eyes. So, guys, it was... Not only was it hidden in the news didn't report it properly because a lot of the people up there, due to their religious, deep religion, their deep, I'm not even saying the words right. It's almost like a cult-like situation going on up there where you have the victim's own sister. And this is a hard pill for me to swallow. The victim who was brutally murdered, he didn't just choke her or strangle her. He hit her with a sledgehammer, a small mini sledgehammer. And she, the poor woman, said to him, "Why are you doing this?" after the first strike. And he continued on 2 or 3 more times, striking her to her death. So if you have not shared this broadcast out, please share it out. Send it out to Facebook. Send it out to Twitter. Send it on to all your social media. I'm gonna share it myself, but like I said, I have her first cousin standing by. She's a brave, wonderful young woman. I have had the distinct honor of communicating with her on the phone, through email, and she is wonderful, wonderful woman. She's a domestic violence survivor. She's has a wonderful husband now and is settled in a beautiful home. So she's standing by, and I thank her. I thank you. I thank you for coming on and telling your side of the story. Bells Reborn, thank you for being in here. Hippie Love, Jonna, Bridget Parker, everybody, thank you for coming in. So I'm going to show 2 quick scenes. I'm going to set them up. This is going to just show you, let's see if this works. This is going to be 2 quick news clips, guys, because like I said, there's not really much. There's not really much. All right, here we go. Bear with me. And while we're watching, share.
2 breaking news now. A Kelowna father who pleaded guilty to murdering his wife and 2 young daughters was sentenced this afternoon.
Norma Reed is following this in the Breaking News Center tonight. Norma.
Well, Jacob Forman has been sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 35 years. And a warning, some of the details in the story are disturbing. Forman pleaded guilty to 2nd-degree murder for killing his wife, Clara, and to 2 counts of 1st-degree murder for killing his 2 young daughters. Their bodies were found inside their Kelowna home in December 2017, just days before Christmas. Court heard that Forman used a child's toy to choke one of his daughters to death. People outside court today wearing shirts that said "This one's for Clara" were too emotional to speak on camera this afternoon. So Crown got what it asked for in terms of this being a consecutive sentence. 25 years for the 1st-degree murders of his daughters and 10 after that for the 2nd-degree killing of his wife.
Okay, I have to stop this right here. 25 years, a total of 35 years. This Canadian sentence is obscene. I have to tell you, as a retired New York City police detective and as a 20-plus year veteran of the criminal justice system, this is an injustice. In my eyes, this animal should not ever receive the opportunity to see the light of day. He ripped 3 young people, 2 children, his own flesh and blood, from the face of this earth. He decided to end their lives. And for anybody to say he should get a chance at release of parole after 35 years is a disgusting disgrace to the justice system up in Canada. I'm ashamed of it. So I had to stop the video there, but I'm going to let it go.
This type of stacked sentencing for mass murderers is a first in BC since changes were made to the criminal code back in 2011. Back to you.
Thank you, Norma.
Okay. All right. So I have one more after this, guys. Make sure you share it out onto social media, guys. Share it out. Okay, here's a photograph of the family. I don't even like to show him, but I'm going to just show this. These are the beautiful children right here. There is Clara, Karina and Yesenia. They were 7 and 8 years old at the time, so now would have been 10 and 9. It's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see this, but I want you guys to see the face of evil. And this is the beautiful 2 young girls and his beautiful wife, who, from all accounts that I've spoken with her cousin, she has told me what a wonderful, bright, shining light she was for humanity. And she was taken from us by this sick animal. So here's a couple of tweets from Claudia Van Emmerich. Judge sentenced Jacob Forman to 35 years in prison before he's eligible for parole for murder of his wife and 2 daughters. This is the first time in British Columbia history that a consecutive sentence has been handed down for multiple murders. Here's the young ladies. These are girls. These are wonderful human beings that attended the sentence in court, and they wore these T-shirts that said "This one's for Clara." These are the friends of coworkers of Clara, where she worked at her gym, or it was like a Zumba kind of workout kind of place. She was a Zumba instructor, I believe. So these were the wonderful human beings that went down and showed support because the family wasn't able to make it. She's from Mexico. She met her husband in Mexico while he was down there for a religious retreat, and he kind of swooped her off her feet and took her up to Canada, and she began a new life up there. So let's see. Yeah, this I'm gonna play this. This is short.
Clara was the most beautiful, warm, loving, kind. I can't find enough words.
Okay, so you hear these beautiful words that this woman is stating for Clara. This is outside of the courthouse. So if this isn't a testament to what kind of human being she was, I don't know what is. But you'll also hear tonight from her cousin who is standing by.
Words to describe her. She was incredible. She was the most beautiful person you'd ever meet. She would be able to seek you out when you came to the gym and make you feel a part of the family, make you feel loved, make you just feel a part of the family there.
All right, there's a video at the end of this that I want you guys to see. Ugh, I can't even look at that. All right, this is a 2-minute video.
No words.
These are neighbors.
Just no words.
A neighbor holds back tears after learning that something terrible has happened across the street. Police showed up at this duplex early Tuesday evening, where they found 3 bodies inside.
Kelowna RCMP members were called to a residence in Pulaski Court last night, December 19th, at approximately 5 p.m., and they were there to speak to an individual at a residence. Upon attending that residence, members located 3 deceased individuals.
Police are calling the deaths suspicious and that a male is in custody.
Neighbors say a man and a woman lived in the residence along with their 2 daughters that they moved in about 3 years ago. They say that they were very private people, that they kept to themselves, rarely seen. And when they did see them, it was just a quick hello.
Well, they were just loners to themselves, pretty well, just to themselves. Not many people came, or if any came, really.
The only time I ever seen those people is if they're pulling in and going in the house. Like, never heard anything of. It's kind of weird that something like this is going on with people that quiet.
Neighbors say these are the people who reside at the residence. Jacob Forman, his wife Clara, and their 2 daughters. Jacob works at a Kelowna plumbing company, while Clara, originally from Mexico, is a fitness instructor. RCMP are not releasing the names of the deceased. Neighbor Pat Robinson says she didn't know the parents, but certainly knew the kids.
They've played with my granddaughter. They've been in my house. They play with my neighbors' grandkids. They play with the little kids across the road.
As for the identity of the person they have in custody, RCMP will only say that the public at large and neighbors have no reason to fear for their safety.
Well, we have 1 male in custody that was located at that residence, and again, Kelowna RCMP serious.
All right, this is an old news report, but I just wanted you guys to get a feel for what was being reported. So I'll let this continue to play.
Meantime, all the neighbors can do is wait and wonder what happened
soon as I'm done
inside
here.
this home.
This is bad any time, but this time of year is especially bad for everybody.
Kelly Hayes, Global News, Kelowna.
First arriving crew.
The Kelowna man accused of killing his family last winter is due back in court today. Jacob Forman has a new lawyer and is expected to appear by video link. He faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of second-degree murder for the deaths of his wife and 2 daughters. Their bodies were discovered in their Rutland home on December.
All right, guys, I want to stop this right here because I want to show you. This is the surrounding outsides of the actual location where this heinous crime took place. The weather is so cold on this. Now, don't forget, December 17th, which is today, is 2 years to the day when these murders took place. There was that much snow on the ground. It was that cold there. He not only killed his family, but he left them in Tupperware, in storage containers, in like these Tupperware big kind of storage where you would put, blankets or store things, and he put them in his garage because it was so cold in the garage that I don't know what he was thinking, but for 2 days they stayed at their home when they already were deceased for 2 whole days. And he went about his business, went to work. He did all kinds of whatever, just went about his business like nothing happened. So this is what shocks me the most about this. What shocks me the most about this is this: a father wipes out his family and then goes about his daily business like nothing happened. When her friends called and were curious about where she was, she didn't show up to work. You know what he said to them? She left me. She left me. And that was his response. He just thought that was okay. That was okay to just tell the people who she works with that she left me and nobody was going to come. The police came to the house. He refused to let them search. They came back with, I guess, a search warrant or more police, and they went through the house, and they noticed a piece of the carpet was cut out in their bedroom, and questioned him on that. And then they searched the rest of the home, and they discovered the gruesome crime scene. So I'll let this finish, but this is old. I just want to give you guys a little backdrop.
Got a new lawyer, which delayed the start of his pretrial proceedings.
Okay, so I'm gonna end that part of this. This just gives you. I wanted to give you how horrific and what a sense of evil demonic behavior he exhibited there that night. So I want to say hello to a few people who've joined: Red Lotus, KDF, Trevor JP, all of my Patreon supporters, all the people who support me on a regular basis. I thank you for that. Thank you to my moderators in the stream, anybody who has left Super Chat in the past, during this broadcast, and going forward. I greatly appreciate that. Hello to anyone new dropping in and saying hello. Looks like there's 85 people here in the chat. Thank you to Gail and Sophia Howard and Linda Cormier from Canada. Linda, welcome in. Much love and respect to you. Addie's mom, Darry D. There's all too many of you guys. Hippie Love, Grant Rogers. Thank you so much for joining. At this time, guys, I want to just get your attention. I want to get your attention because I'm going to introduce you to the victim here, Clara Forman's first cousin. Clara's father is brothers and sisters. Her mom and Clara's dad, brother and sister. So first cousins. I hope I got that right. I'm almost certain I did. So I'm going to introduce Mav. I'm not going to give you her last name for privacy reasons, but she is joining me on a Zoom call. She is, I'm going to enable the audio on a Zoom call. She's been in the chat listening. So if you guys could please put up some prayer emojis in the chat for Mav. She is first cousins with Clara, and these beautiful young Karina and Yesenia. This is family to her, and I want to say thank you so much, Mav, for joining in on this this Zoom audio/video. I'm going to try my best to show you guys. I'm gonna pan the camera around so you guys could see. I have her right there. There she is. You want to say hello to everybody?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Hold on. Yep, I can hear you fine. Guys, can you hear her? There's the prayer emojis. Look at that YouTube chat.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody and all the support that I'm getting from your crew.
Yeah, my YouTube family is very respectful, very strong. They're very supportive of anybody that's a victim of a crime. They support our police and law enforcement. But I want to set up, Mav, if you don't mind, real quick before you go into talking about your cousin. I want to set up how we came to be friends. I did a live September 17th, which it was just a random day I did this live. I didn't pick it for any significance of, anniversaries, or it just so happened to be that date, and I don't know why. I discovered the story, just came across it in one of my readings during the course of my day, and I did this live not knowing you. And shortly, I believe that night or the next day, you emailed me and you said, Ron, you told me you were her cousin, and I was so taken back by your message, but I didn't take it for, there's so many people out there that could be copycats or that just want to be nosy. So tell the people how our engagement went.
Well, I have a Google notification letting me know whenever someone talks about Clara, and to see kind of what the public knows about it, because as you said before, there wasn't a whole lot of information out there. We knew as some of the family members who had some inside information, but it really wasn't publicized very much. And I think I found it a day late, and I saw your video, and I really craved someone saying the things that you said. It was important for me, and I needed to hear someone call him a monster. I needed to hear for my own self someone else saying the words that I was choking in myself. I couldn't say. And so when I reached out to you, first of all, I really appreciated that you wanted to make sure that I was in fact who I said I was, and had so much respect for our family and our privacy and our feelings, that warmed my heart, and that instantly gave me a lot of trust with you. You weren't just some reporter, because we had spoken to several reporters that were just trying to get the scoop, just trying to get the story, and would publish anything. Right. And you weren't trying to do that, and I really appreciated it. So over the course of the next, it seemed like it happened really fast, and we talked to each other on the phone, and I instantly fell in love with your YouTube channel. I really loved true crime. Before, I would be one of those people who would look at unsolved mysteries, and I appreciated how you reported and how you talked about things and how you spoke about my family member.
Right.
And
it was important.
Really
it was important for me. It's important for me to report about these type of incidents and crimes in a respectful manner. I'm always thinking about family, because I was the officer that would come to give the notifications to families. And I know how sensitive this is and how emotional this type of heinous crime is, and how it could break apart a family. So I not only do this on your cousin's case, I do this across the board. I report with respect and dignity and honor to the victims and families first and foremost.
I felt like I could finally talk about it very candidly with somebody, and I felt that that I was safe. That was really important for me, to feel like I could feel safe, because I was told to not say anything to anyone for a good year. And part of that was, because we had this case that went on pause for months and months. We had no answers, we had no progress, and then everything happened really quickly after that, And so for me, having a place where I could say the things that I felt I needed to say about the case, about my family member, about my family, and how our upbringing may have led us into these types of situations. Not that I don't want to blame any victims here, but there are things that led up to us trusting the kind of people that do this.
Right.
And the environment, like you said, that makes this kind of a culture of violence. And that's something that I never really felt comfortable speaking with until I spoke with you on the phone, and you just gave me your ear and listened. more than anything else. I appreciate that so much.
Right. So I happen to. I mean, my wife. I'm married 28, going on 29 years, and there's got to be a good reason behind that. I listen, but part of my work as a detective is listening to someone when they talk, and really hearing what they say. And the night that we first spoke, all I did was let you talk, and I listened. I might have interjected a handful of times, but I thought it was important for you to talk to me and tell me what was on your mind. And I learned so much about your family dynamic and about her family dynamic and how this all unfolded. And I understood it. And, that's where I want to say to you, thank you for opening up to a complete stranger. But at the end of the day, you knew that I was the real deal. I was, I'm not just someone that's here for trying to get ratings. I don't have a news channel. This is something I do as, in my retired life, as something that I feel passionate about. So I want you to, if you can, let the people in the chat, there's primarily, I'm 90% women in my chat. They love true crime. Give them a little bit of background on what you know, if you don't mind, about the relationship between your cousin and this monster who took her life.
Yes, absolutely, and I appreciate it. Again, the listening is giving me a big opportunity to share things that have been hidden in closets for a really long time, and it's not a unique situation, sadly. A lot of people see what happened, and it's kind of all of a sudden, and it's very shocking. But for us, it's the familiar story. It's something that I gotta say, I was most shocked that he hurt his children, but not completely shocked that he hurt his wife. And they were really, really young. She went after him. She wanted to be his wife. She was head over heels in love with him, and everything went really quickly from the time they started courting to their engagement and then their wedding. I took their wedding photos. I made their wedding cake, and I look back at those photos, and she's just a baby. I think she was 19 years old, so she was very, very young. And soon after, they moved to Canada, where he was from, and they started a family. And we started. We're a very close knit family. On one side, I had 25 first cousins, just on my mom's side of the family.
Wow.
She was in the middle group, so I was probably about 7 or 8 years older than her. I would have.
And Mav, born and raised in Mexico?
Yes, and then we also in just not too far from Mexico, in across the border in Mexicali and Calexico, El Centro, and then San Diego. We would meet every year in the mountains of San Diego. We have some property over there, and I guess I was a little bit. She might have been a little bit less in age difference, but she was one of the kids that hung out with my younger siblings. We would often watch them. They would come over as teenagers. They would kind of get our hand-me-downs or tag along with us, and try to do the same things that we would do. And she was always so much fun, super happy and funny girl, and just a delight all the time. She was a very beautiful child, and smiled all the time, and she was doted upon because she was the youngest of her her family. And she was very devoted in church, and my uncle, her dad, is a preacher, as many of my uncles are, and we were raised in a very religious family. And we started to notice that time would pass longer and longer and longer, and we wouldn't hear from her. And there would be years where we wouldn't see her at all. And we started developing a close Facebook relationship, where we would see the side of people that is presented on social media. And I could see her start lighting up as she would, kind of be out there in her career as a fitness instructor. She loved karate. I was starting karate. She was starting to be a fitness instructor. I was a gymnastics coach for many years. So we started to rebond again. And I was concerned at the fact that she wouldn't make phone calls very often, that we were strictly an online family. And that's weird for our family.
Wow.
Our family calls each other, our family sees each other all the time. And then we would see her every once in a while at a family gathering, at her sister's wedding. Her children were already born and, a couple years old, 2, 3, 4 years old, before they even met. And that's not something, I was witness to my nieces. That's how close we are in our family versus we have this other family in Canada. And the space, it wasn't, even space doesn't keep our family apart. So that was the thing that was a little bit strange. And then I had a phone call with another family member, and it put the hair on the back of my neck straight up. And she said, Claire's not allowed to talk to me. I'm not allowed to go see her children or know her children. And I said, why? And she said, because her husband won't let her. I'm a bad influence.
Wow.
And that was when I knew she was in trouble. And I started to really try to craft a closer relationship with her. I told my mom what I had heard. And I said, I'm really worried about her because I remember as a teenager when they were courting, Jacob would, come over and he would say, hey, that's not appropriate. You need to not be hanging out with your cousins, or we need to go home now. Like stuff like that. We would call him, he was grumpy.
Bob, I don't want to interrupt you, but how was Jacob when you first met him?
Very quiet and meek. He put on a lot of the charm, which now looking back, he shows a lot of classic signs of the narcissistic abuser. I have experience with that with my ex-husband, and I see a lot of similarities. So he was fluent in Spanish, and he would write letters to my mom on email to get close with her, so that my uncle have his sister kind of bless them in this, like, hey, this guy's super sweet. He writes these beautiful love letters. He always calls me and, his aunt. And he was very, very quiet and meek and shy, not very outgoing. And then he had the other side that was very controlling. Once it was become known that Jacob and Clara were dating and they were a couple, it was like she belonged to him. She was now his responsibility, and he had to make sure that she was going to be doing good values, having good values, doing good things, not getting into trouble, because ultimately he was going to be her husband, and that meant that he needed to make sure that she was a good wife. And that is the number one job for her once they were going to be together.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the value system that we were raised in. The father is the head of the family, and what I've seen in very religious homes, it's a playground for narcissists. If you get a narcissist that gets backed up by a very religious background and gets to jump on that, they become the god of their house. They get to control everything. And if many survivors will tell you that they kept their abuse hidden for a long time, and that the pictures, people would say the same thing about me. They would say the same thing about her, like, oh, they were a great couple. And then you look at what the neighbors said, that they didn't know the neighbors. I lived in a house for 6 years, and the first day I met my neighbors was when I told them that I needed help, and I needed help leaving. And they didn't know their neighbors, and she didn't have friends that were close in proximity. But she did have very good friends in her work, which is where I could see her come alive. I could see that she was being her regular, normal self, where she could just be out there and be vibrant and happy,
right,
and show joy.
Right.
And those are the women, and those are her family that knew something was wrong. And I am so grateful to them, because I don't know if he would have gotten away with it if they didn't call and persist that something was wrong.
Right.
They didn't believe that she had left. They didn't believe any of the story that he had said. they knew. Right. They knew some, and that's the thing that drives me crazy about some of the reporting. Like, nobody knew. They knew.
Yeah.
Her family members knew.
Right.
We knew.
Right.
There wasn't anything we could do from far away, and it's very touchy and it's very difficult. Leaving is hard. Right. It's dangerous.
Yes.
We felt helpless, but we knew.
Yeah.
This wasn't just
I want to ask you, what was some of, like, how, you know, they were married 10 years, according, right? That you said 10 years they were married. At what point did you guys start noticing, or did you start noticing that there was something really wrong?
When we didn't see her for months, when she stopped showing up. I mean, and in between all of that, I was also going through my own stuff. And so I would say it was probably shortly after I had left and I had moved forward and I started understanding the dynamics of an abusive relationship and the control. My spidey senses started going off. And when we hadn't met her children, you know, when we couldn't call her, when we couldn't have her phone number or visit, when some of us were deemed, like I had gotten divorced, so I wouldn't have been a good influence. Those are the types of words that mean that there's a lot of control. When you have a grown woman who can't make the decisions about her friendships, including her family members, that's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are right. Those Mav are classic signs of someone who is a control freak, who's exhibiting possibly, mental health issues. Like, he had to have been suffering from some form of mental health issues. And we didn't even speak about this, but the media said he was an alcoholic. So at some point he turned to alcohol and or maybe drugs. Who knows? We don't know. But he definitely was detoxing from alcohol. Was that confirmed within the family? Is that a known fact?
No, it's not. And that's something that I can see that and I can believe it. But I don't know that. And it's one of those things that we have to take his word for it, and we have to take the word of people that he confided in. If he was an alcoholic, he would have been hiding it. He would have hidden it really well, and she might not have said anything.
Right.
She may have given signs to her friends and family that are there, but they never said anything to any of us in advance of that. It makes sense. I know that he had a history of depression. I do know that. I can confirm that there were reports that earlier on in his life, before they had met, that he had attempted suicide before. So we do know that there were mental health issues, and that's something that would have been, I don't want to say treated, but it would have been dealt with only within the family and in the church. Right. It would not have been something that he would have reached out to for help
from the outside world.
To stay with him, to help him through whatever illness or problems, and her duty would be to keep the children there and to make sure that the family stayed together. Right. And she homeschooled the children, so but they did have outside activities with their I'm gonna say it wrong, but it's like the Canadian version of like their Girl Scouts. It's like their troops that the girls did together. They did a lot of really fun things like that. Okay. But they wouldn't have been in a daily environment where they had outside influences all the time. A teacher might have noticed something going on or something wrong if the girls had any sign of it. But it's very common to see this situation, so the children being isolated.
Right,
you
know. So for those of you who are new, just tuning in, this is Mav. I'm not giving her last name, but that's her first name. She's a good friend of mine now. I kind of call her family. She's part of the DutyRon family. She is first cousins with Clara Forman, who was brutally murdered by her husband on December 17th, 2017, 2 years ago to the day, and she's been kind enough through my invite, and we spoke about this over the course of time of doing a live stream, and she was in total agreement with doing this. But I have her via Zoom on my cell phone. We tried to do it through OBS, but due to my inabilities of technical expertise, I kind of stink at technical stuff. I wasn't able to pull it off. Now, Mav, for the new people joining, and for people who have been here this entire time, would you mind telling the viewers what type of relationship Clara's sister has with her murderer, her husband, the monster? Can you tell? I mean, this is going to be, I mean, it's up to you. If you don't want to speak about it, I understand. But this is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, a hard pill to swallow. Mom, if you don't mind, I think the viewers, the people that are in here that are listening, I think that they need to hear this from you, not me.
Yes, it's out there, so I don't mind speaking about it. There are a couple of news articles out there and interviews after we had been told to not say anything, and it's difficult for me to understand. It's a dynamic that I don't get. I don't understand it. I don't know if I'll ever understand it. I try to approach this subject with some empathy, but I have none, and I don't have any. I have no relationship with Jacob Forman anymore. He stopped being my family the moment he hurt my family. However, because of the religious aspect, because of this church environment, he is still considered a brother, like a Christian brother. And so for the family and for the peace of Clara's parents, I can say I believe that they have to have some room for forgiveness, and I understand that. But some of the quotes that have come across, that they're going through this with him, and they were not in agreement, and I know that her sister was not in agreement with the sentencing, in that they didn't believe that he should have gotten first-degree charges for the girls. They were okay with second-degree charges, and they did not want a trial to go forward. And they believe that, he is still their brother, and that there is room for his forgiveness and for his space in heaven and salvation. I am not there. I am not in agreement with that, even with my own religious belief system. I believe he's a monster. They do not believe he's a monster. They believe he's a human being who made a very bad mistake. And a lot of the details about what happened were kept from the parents. I don't know if my aunt and uncle, I know that my uncle knows, but I don't know if Clara's mother knows everything that happened. And she keeps away from that, and I respect her privacy there. But her sister knows. Her sister knew that there was something going on. She was concerned about it. She did not have a close relationship later on in life. When they were growing up, they were very tight. And this relationship and this marriage was a huge chasm between the two of them. And she had come to me before and told me that she was concerned. And even when they went for a visit, the parents went for a visit right before this happened, like maybe a month or less. And they came back and they said, he was weird, he was withdrawn, he wouldn't have anything to do with us. And that concerned myself and my parents. And I told my mom, this is what I'm talking about, something's going to happen. And that's the part that's really strange for me, is that her own sister, and it feels like a big betrayal. And I don't know if it's my betrayal to have, but I feel like Clara cried out for justice. And I feel that Clara wanted us to fight forward for her to make sure that the maximum sentence would happen. Right. And I'm proud of the fact that this is a landmark case and that they did get the consecutive sentences. I don't understand, because I'm coming from a United States justice system, and where we get all the information very quickly. And I believe that this monster would have been had he been in Texas, he probably would have gotten the death penalty. Had he been in the United States, he would have no chance of parole. But it's, one of those things that I believe they would be perfectly fine. Some of the family members that still support him and support his family and are bound like family together, would be okay with him getting out and having another family and having more children and living his life again.
Yeah, I cannot even fathom that the thought of that. Like, I am Catholic, and I don't know the exact religion that was practiced by the family, but it seemed extreme to me. It definitely seemed extreme to me. I'm gonna move you right by side with me here, if you don't mind, and I'm gonna take a couple of questions. So let me just get this a little bit better here. Hold on. Okay. So I'm gonna put you here. I know you guys got glare. Okay, that's the best that we can get it. I'm gonna look at the chat. I mean, do you have more that you want to talk about, Mav?
I'll ask a couple of questions, but I want to say that I want that in all of this, I do get a chance to see beauty and kindness. Like today, I was sharing with you all over the phone how I went to the grocery store and I saw people being so kind to each other in rush hour, and I feel like I'm getting an opportunity to see the best of what this world can have instead of looking and seeing the monster. And that's something that I believe Clara would have wanted for all of us. And I'm seeing that. I have a little bit of a delay on my phone with the comments, and I'm seeing that same love and kindness come through. And I wanted to say how much I appreciate that support and how much I love you guys for that. I feel like I have all these extra arms hugging me right now.
It's a lot of love out there. There's a lot of love and respect for you and your family. So I'm gonna put you right here, and I'll read the comments so you don't have to see them. I'll read the comments to you. So guys in the chat, again, hello to Red Lotus, hello to Winky Whispers. Thank you to everyone being in here. I have, as you guys have all been listening to, I want to just say a special thank you to Mav. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage to come on and speak about a loved one, a family member. This is her cousin, her first cousin. So I tip my cap to you for having the strength. And I think you got some inner strength today from your cousin while you're in the grocery store and you told me that story. I got, as Tori Hartman, my good friend, says, truth bumps came out. I felt what you were feeling when you described that to me. So I'm going to take some questions. If anybody wants to throw out, now we can't answer all the questions, but I'm going to pick some of the questions in the chat. So if you guys want to throw up any questions for Mav, I will relay the messages to her because she's watching with her phone, but she's also on the Zoom with me. Black Rose or Winky Whispers or anybody that's in here that may have some questions for her, please go ahead. Okay, Deco Paint and Tea says, did the children's demeanor change? Now, I could answer this, I think. She said, because I'm a good listener, Mob said that they kept the children from the family. Jacob Forman was so controlling that he limited their contact. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mav. He limited the contact between outside world, the family, and the children. Is that correct, Mav?
Yes, they were good, obedient children. That's how I would describe them. They were so well behaved. They were good and obedient. I don't know how discipline happened in their house. I know that what I was raised with a lot of spanking, a lot of fear of hell. I would say that they were sweet and kind, and I think anybody who knew them would say the same exact thing about them. If their father was an alcoholic, I have to assume that it would be an assumption that they would notice that. But knowing Clara, she would have done everything possible to protect them from any of that, any ugly, any unhappy. She always tried to make sure that they were happy. and that they had the opportunity for joy. She was a very wonderful mother.
Okay, so thank you for answering that. People are asking what was the religion that they practiced per se.
I can't say exactly what their church is called there. It's like non-denominational evangelical Christianity. I was raised Church of Christ, where we met in like a garage, and I still have uncles who meet in their house.
Okay.
And so that's the culture that we were.
Perfect. Somebody else said, let me see, I'll scroll back. Was there any prior domestic violence? Claire S. says, was there any prior domestic violence incidents between them? They were married 10 years, correct?
I have to believe that there was. If anybody said that was the first time, I wouldn't believe them at all. There's been domestic violence in our family. Other cousins have experienced it as well, including myself.
Right.
With belief that we weren't allowed to leave. And in the belief system that I grew up in, you can be forgiven for murder, but not divorce. So it would have been a very hard decision for her to make to leave.
Wow.
Especially, she would have been expected to forgive anything that he did, or it might have been her fault.
Okay. I got it. I respect that. I mean, I come from a Catholic background. My aunt is a Catholic nun. She's in her 80s. I was dragged by my head at church every Sunday and Wednesday, and I went to Catholic school, all different, everything to the extreme. But, I think what people are asking is like, he went down into Mexico and it was reported in the news. I know what people are trying to get at, that he was deeply connected with the church, like almost pastor-like, but...
He wanted to, but it wasn't for him. He didn't have the demeanor for it.
Okay, gotcha.
But he took them to church and prayed with them before he made the decision to hurt his children.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
Same night.
Gotcha.
Prayed to God.
All right.
And then murdered his family.
Right. So I'm hoping everybody could see you on the angle that I just put you at, because I was getting a glare and it was really not good, but it looks like this is better. I think people could see you better on this angle. How is the audio, everybody? I'm sure I'm looking at the levels. It seems like you guys can hear her. So another question came in from Black Rose. Was it premeditated? Hold on a second. Black Rose. Was it premeditated? Did she reach out to her parents before? Was there any signs, like did she say, I'm in fear of danger? I don't think so.
Not that we know of. They did come back and told my mom. So my family had witnessed me coming out of domestic violence. So they had a little bit of like, wait a minute, they thought this would happen to me. I had that phone conversation after we found out about Clara.
Okay.
We thought this would happen to you. So the parents said, there's something going on. It was really weird. My mom was like, something's wrong. But she didn't ever reach out to any of us.
Okay.
None of the family members have come forward and said she needed help.
Right.
And I don't know if her friends have said anything. And if they did say something, they might have been told to be quiet about it, like I was.
Wow. Okay. So here's a good question, and it comes from our good friend Gail Troxel. Gail, and I believe she's from Canada. And I'm going to ask anybody that is from Canada to come forward with some questions, or if you have anything to input in this. But let me scroll back to what Gail said, because I'm trying to find it now. The chat's moving so fast. 110 people here in the chat. Oh my goodness. Let me go here on my computer and see if I can get it back. But Gail asked a really good question, and of course now I can't find it. Gail Troxel, where is she? Bear with me, Mav. Bear with me.
She said, was there
here. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Was there abuse before the marriage? Was he obsessed with her from the beginning? And I think you, in our conversations, I think you said it was hot and heavy from the beginning, and everything progressed quickly. Correct?
Yes, so typical of these types of narcissistic abusive situations is the whirlwind relationship. She wanted to be married to him. And I can relate to that because I had been wanting to get out, and marriage was the way you get out. You know, you get out of your house, you get to get married, and then you get to be your own wife and stuff like that. You don't have to, live with your parents anymore. And it was very whirlwind, and it seemed like as fast as it started, it was like gone and they were moved. So I wouldn't say that he was obsessed. He didn't ever show that part of him. The control was there, though.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. That answers that question. Red Lotus comes in with, did he have a previous marriage where there may have been abuse there? Was he?
No, he was very young. I don't even know if he ever had a solid girlfriend or anything. The family hasn't said anything about that.
How old was he when they got married, and her? She was 19, you said, right?
Yeah, I think he's only like a year older than her. I really feel like I'm trying to remember, but they were really young.
So 19 and 20-ish.
Yeah, just when
Right.
you're 19 and you just want to be, you want to be a grown up and you're not yet.
Okay, gotcha. So Bridget Parker, who's a really good friend of mine, and she runs a very respectful crime channel in Australia. Welcome in, Bridget Parker. Thank you for being in here. Bridget says, how was it having such a personal trauma played out publicly with the media? Any advice from media going forward for victims, loved ones?
It was difficult for us. Thank you for that question. That's really. It was really difficult when I got the phone call. I had to turn on the news online to see the house and the police tape. That's what made it real, was when we saw her house.
Right.
And we knew what had happened, and we were getting nonstop phone calls all from the news sources, and people asking if we would do interviews, people asking what was going on. And that was immediately shut off, and there was a huge movement from the family to make the media the absolute enemy. So we didn't really get a lot of connection. We just had to watch it happen.
Right.
And figure out, are they going to tell the truth or not? There were a couple times where I had to hold back because I was like, no, that's not right.
Right.
We were waiting.
So frustrating, anxiety because you were like waiting. What are they going to say next? That kind of thing.
Yes, and I wish a little bit more that the media would have given me more than just asking for information, because they were actually there. We had some resources here that would tell us how the system was going to play out.
Right.
But a lot of us had to go around and try to figure things out, and we weren't getting much information, and it seemed like we were even more far away from the situation, and people were just talking about it. I really wish that they would make it more about Clara and what happened to her and her children and our family.
Then about the case and about British Columbia history, and like that all means nothing to a family that's been victimized, that has had their loved one ripped away, and small children that you guys didn't even have contact with because of the behavior of the.
Let's talk about what it's about. We have children dying every single month and day in this country, and a lot of times, especially in the month of December, it's really hard during the holidays, and these people snap.
At the hands of their parents.
Yes, and there are children that are being killed by their parents, and there are mothers, and there are fathers, and there are people that that are in danger of this, and they're not getting the support. When they leave, they're getting a whole bunch of difficulty. Financial. There's a lot of people who are experiencing financial abuse. Sometimes the first bruise that you see in a domestic violence assault is the last time they do it. Sometimes the first time you know that there's some physical abuse happening is the time that they die.
Yeah.
That's the first time you might know that it's happening.
And you also are a victim of domestic violence. So you're speaking from experience, and I'm sure lots of ladies and women and maybe men out there in the chat listening are also victims of domestic violence. You know, and like you said, the first thing that I would tell someone when I would come, if I was lucky enough to catch a domestic violence abuser and lock him up, I would tell the victims, do not accept his apologies, because once a man puts his hands on you, it'll never stop. There's no going back. There's no getting better. It just progresses worse. And like you said, some of the first indicators are too late, and the people's lives are taken at the hands of an abuser. So that's awesome information. I thank you for putting that out to everybody. Let me go and see if there was any other questions. There's so many questions coming in, but I can't get to them all. I'm
sorry for anybody who's experienced or is experiencing abuse, and I want people to know that there are people who help. There are safe ways to get out. When you go to the doctor and the doctor asks you the question, are you being raped at home? Are you being hurt at home? Are you okay? And you want to lie because you know you got to go home. Sometimes it takes everything in you to even write down on a piece of paper, no, it's not okay. No, I'm not safe.
Right.
There are people who will help you, and they will help you immediately. And there are friends that have right now that will help you. They will give you money. They will keep you safe. They will go to your house. They will move you out. They will protect your children. There are people who will do that for you. And even if you just tell that one person that you can absolutely trust, I don't feel safe. The words that I said that made a difference for me was when I told one of my best friends, if something ever happens to me, he did it.
Wow.
He talked to me every single day. She would check in on me every single day. She became so annoying to my ex. Why? Because he knew she was going to help me out.
Right. That's powerful. That is powerful.
It's very powerful to know that you do have help, even if it's hard to see.
Right.
Sometimes the big thing is just letting somebody you know and trust.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I get 100%. There's those opportunities for you to come forward in so many different options, you know, so many different opportunities. Like I have my 9/11 World Trade Center cancer screening on the 31st. But before I go into the federal program, I've been in it since after 9/11, they send me a package at home, and then they send me a questionnaire on email. And I filled it out just today. And you know what one of the questions were in that online questionnaire? Do you feel safe at home? Are you being abused at home? I had to answer those questions. But if I was, let's just say I was a woman, or if I was a guy and my older kids were abusing me, domestic violence doesn't have to be a husband and wife. It could be your own children. It could be relatives. It could be friends. It could be, you know. So I answered those questions all no, obviously. But there was an outlet for me to check off yes. And I would have received the help on the 31st when I go in there. They would have given me, you know, an opportunity to report or counseling or whatever. So that was very good. Red Lotus, thank you so much for the super love. Thank you for that $20 super chat. Thank you to, I missed one. Let me scroll back. Grant Rogers coming in with $5 out of Canada. Thank you so much for coming in and giving the super chat. It is greatly appreciated. This month on Christmas Eve, I will be donating to 5 families, a PayPal donation to 5 anonymous families. I won't announce them who I'm doing it, but they will know about it. I do it. Joey Brooklyn is here. I've been live streaming for about 4 years now on Periscope, and just now about a year on YouTube. I've been doing this every year for the past four years. So every Christmas Eve, I sit with my wife, I open up my PayPal, and I send random donations to people in need. I verify who the people are that are in need, and I send them out. So this year is going to be no different. I'm going to do it on Christmas Eve. So these donations through Super Chat will get paid forward to people in need. I'm going to just pause this for 1 second because I have to get power and I have to get up. Stand by with me a second while I switch the scene. I'll be right back.
Seeing all these comments coming in, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who's here and supporting.
Yes, they can hear you. I just had to get up, and I didn't want anybody to see my funny pajamas I have on. So I changed the scene. All right, I'm back. All right, guys, so we've been live for just a little bit over an hour now. I have here with me Clara Forman's cousin, Mav. She is in the California region. She is on West Coast time, and she's been here with us for the whole entire hour and 8 minutes. So, again, this is a live stream that is, I want to stay focused on remembering and celebrating the life of her cousin, Clara, her 2 children, Karina and Yesenia, who would have been now 10 and 9 years old on this date, December 17th, 2017. Their lives were cut short by a monster. Red Lotus, thank you so much for that additional super chat. I appreciate that tremendously. It will be paid forward. And my PayPal link is in my bio here. Anybody that donates directly to the PayPal, the 30% does not come out from YouTube, and that will go pay it forward to families who are less fortunate on Christmas Eve. So I made a lot of people smile over the past 4 years, and I'm going to continue to do that this year. So let me just look at it again. We'll take 1 or 2 more questions. Is that okay, Mav? And then we'll wrap it up.
Absolutely. I'm always impressed at how late you can stay up.
I got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, my time, another 6 hours. All right, let me scroll back. Paper Angel ASMR, thank you so much for being in here. Sophia Howard has hung in the whole time. Bridget Parker, thank you for being in here. Got your Santa Claus pajamas on. Yes, Matty Boy Sully, thank you so much for being in here. Red Lotus, again, thank you for that additional super love. Sending the 30% YouTube takes DutyRon. I'm sending, hoping the families get it all. Thank you so much, Red Lotus. Paper Angel, love and respect from my house to yours, as always. I had to get back basic physical. Okay. All right. It doesn't look like there's any more questions. Ralph's Trucking is in the building. Good to see you. Honk, honk. Ralph's Trucking is here. Blessings to you, Mav and DutyRon, says Linda from Canada. Linda, what part of Canada are you in, Linda Cormier? I know I'm botching your last name. Okay, so make us smile all the time. You got it, my brother. Thank you so much for all of your kind words and friendship and support. I'm hoping someone can learn from this family's loss. Listen, Moon Shadow, very good point. He or she says, heartbreaking. I'm hoping someone can learn from this family's loss. And you know something, Mav and people in the chat, I do these live streams for educational purposes, but also for to get the message out. So if we touch just one person that is remotely close to a situation like this, that they can see the light and maybe say, hey, I just listened to DutyRon, I just listened to Mav, and am I saying that right? Mav, right? Mav. Yes. That's a cute name. I heard DutyRon and Mav speak, and I've been enlightened, and I'm going to go get myself some help. I'm going to reach out. So even if we reach just one person, it's done a lot of good, and it's done through your cousin. You know, you're the messenger. I'm the messenger. I'm providing the vehicle. But like I said to you tonight before we did this, I'm giving you my stage, my crowd that I have, because I feel so strongly and I have so much love and respect for you and your family and for all families of domestic violence and victims of homicide and murder throughout the world. I don't just arbitrarily pick people. I take the cases where I think there's the most value, there's most interesting information that we could maybe perhaps learn from going forward. So again, this to me is enlightening, it's educational, and the comments that I'll receive after this video goes down will be so much. It'll be so many different comments, so many different questions. So if it's all right with you, if I have any questions that I think that are important, I will relay them to you. I will forward them to you, or I'll share them with you. If you would like, if you would not like, I understand and respect that as well. But I'd like to be able to people to be able to continue the conversation with you. You know, I'm not going to put your email out in my chat because your email box would be flooded with messages. But I'd like I wouldn't do that to you. But I'd like to encourage people to send messages to my email, DutyRon@AOL.com. Send them on my website, which is DutyRon.com. And on that website, you can find links to domestic violence through the New York City Police Department. That's the greatest detectives, the greatest police department in the world. I served proudly 20 plus years on that police department. I'm a 9/11 first responder. I was first responder down at the World Trade Center when our country was attacked. Send me the messages, go onto my website and check out the links. I'm going to start to wrap up this live stream now, and I want to say a special thank you to Mav for being here and hanging out with us. I would like to continue to do domestic violence broadcasts where I bring you up on my Zoom panel and maybe one or two other ladies who have had experiences with domestic violence. If you're interested in that, and we can continue the conversation and perhaps help people, you know, down the road with stuff.
That's what I appreciate. I want to say one of the things I appreciate the most about this is that we're talking about what this is. It's not just this thing that happened. It's happening.
Yes.
And it's happening all over the place. Things like her neighbors didn't know her. Know your neighbors. I know it can seem like you're being pushy or nosy, but you know, just having a friend when you're isolated like that means the world. I was so, it warmed my heart to see that there were people outside of the Forman family representing Clara as she was 100%. And I wanted to say something. I know you guys love DutyRon, but he is so amazing. You already know this. And even when I just made a big move, he texted me and said, hey, let me know when you get safely to your drive. This is a person who genuinely cares about the people he connects with. And when you support his work here, you're supporting people like me to be able to speak to you guys and to get this out there and to talk about things that are important to us as a whole. We can't be okay with hurting children. That's my opinion. I think a lot of people can agree with that. And when you support this person, he's a wonderful salt of the earth human being that I greatly appreciate.
Thank you so much, Mav. You know, and coming from you, I have to tell you, it means a lot to me because, you know, I do this kind of work in my professional life, but now in my I've been retired some years now, and I've continued my work in my retirement. And for me, helping people is what I was born to do. This is almost like a calling for me from a very young age. And when I was, you know, a teenager, I used to cut my elderly neighbor's lawn when I was living with my parents, and they would try to give me money, and I would never take the money, and they'd always stuff it in my pocket, you know, $1 here, $1 there. But I didn't want anything from it. You know, my neighbors here, I'm living here 25 years. When the snow would come out and they were in their 80s, they would count on me to come and snow blow their front lawn, front walk, and clear off their steps. And they would always want to compensate me for it. And I said, you know what the compensation for me is? A hug, a handshake, a pat on the back, maybe some baked goods every once in a while. That goes a long way with me. You know, I like my food. Thank you so much for that super chat, Grant Rogers. Thank you so much for coming in with that 35 from Canada. Thank you so much. But so my point is that we're human beings. We're here to help each other. And that's what I continue to do, paying it forward and helping out people like yourself. You know, just 5 months ago, we didn't know anything about each other, right? Our paths cross for a reason. You know, I feel that all things happen for a reason. And I've met so many really wonderful people here. Paper Angel ASMR, she told me a story about how her life, she's in the chat, she told me a story about how she almost lost her life through domestic violence. She was this close to being killed. And she shared this in the chat just now, and that's why I'm talking about it. So I speak about this a lot. There's so many connections I make with people off YouTube. Like our connection, I've never spoken to anybody about that. It's between me and you. But now we're sharing it with everybody. And these are some of the things that go on with me times 10. You know, I have so many relationships with people on and off of YouTube. I can't be friends with everybody. It's impossible for me to be friends with 13,000 people. But if somebody comes to me and says to me, I have a problem, DutyRon, I need your help, I don't turn people away. I don't say I can't help you. I say this is what I can do. And sometimes it's not me being able to physically help them or financially help them, but I do give them my time. And when someone gives you their time and they just listen to you, as you said before, that goes a long way. When someone can be a good ear and someone who you can talk to and not get judged, that makes a world of a difference. So again, I want to say thank you tremendously. Thank you so much for sharing the inner works of your family, the tragedy. We are remembering the 3 lives that were lost on December 17th, 2017. That is Clara, the 2 girls, Karina and Yesenia. It's beautiful, beautiful souls lost. So I'm just going to take a moment right now, and I know that everyone is of different denomination, but I'm just going to bow my head and pray silently. You guys can do whatever you want to do. Put prayer emojis in the chat for the three young ladies' lives lost, the 2 children and Clara. So I'm just going to bow my head for a minute and say a quick prayer. Okay, guys, that's going to conclude this broadcast. Thank you to everyone for being in here. Again, Mav, thank you for you hanging out with me. I am going to end this. I'm going to end with you, and then after this, I'm going to give you a quick call, if that's okay. Okay, great.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, guys, everyone say goodnight to Mav. We will talk again. This isn't the last time we're talking with her. So love and respect to you and your family, and I'll talk to you in a bit. All right, guys. Let me get the mic up close. All right, guys. So 1 hour and 20 minutes, longer than what I would have planned for. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who has given Super Chat. Like I said, it goes a long way. Aaron, thank you for being here. Joey Brooklyn, love and respect. Gail Troxel, thank you so much. If you're not subscribed to my channel, here it is, DutyRon. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all one word, DutyRon. Go to my Facebook, YouTube video share group. Go to my YouTube crime and police chat group. Join up, and we can continue the conversation. And also, guys, look at my Streamlabs merch store. And also go on to my Amazon affiliate link. If you want to support everything that this channel does without going into your pocket, you could shop on Amazon.com and support me through my Amazon affiliate. Guys, I'm going to say goodnight from New York City. Until my next live, please remember to share this after the broadcast is over. Give it a thumbs up, share it out onto your social, and watch the replay and let the ads go. Mom, there she is in the chat. Much love and respect. From my house to yours. Guys, good night from New York City, and we'll speak again soon. Stay safe, and God bless.